everyone, and welcome to the PhD crew. So, I'm the P in the group, I'm Penny, and I'll pass you over to the H.
Hello, I'm Hilary. So I'm the H. I'm the middle bit, the sandwich between these two. So the sandwich,
The
yeah, the
head.
meat and the filling, the filling. So I'm the H of the PhD crew. So hello everybody, it's Hilary Stanley, and over to the D.
And I'm Daniel. I am the D of this group, and I'm looking forward to today. We have the lovely Anne Polet on from AromaWizards. So today our talk is going to be based around the aromatherapy, and I love the knowledge that this lady has, and also I love the safety that she brings to these workshops and the courses. So with no further ado, Anne, welcome to the PhD crew.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Thank you for welcoming me to your group today.
It's a pleasure to have you on. So I think first things first, for people out there who don't know, if we could cover a bit of background, how did you get into aromatherapy and when did you get the bug?
Well, aromatherapy came into my life a long time ago. I was a nurse at the time, and I was basically doing some work at Bristol Cancer Help Centre, and I was doing other general nursing work at the time, and they were offering to train people in massage, so I did my massage training there. And then straight away people were starting to bring these smelly things, and I was like, okay, what are these? And I discovered that these smelly things were essential oils that they were using at Bristol Cancer Help Centre. And I was like, oh, they're amazing. I just like initially was just struck with how they were kind of helping people feel, and just kind of just the wonderful smells. They just smelled like what I hadn't smelled before. They just smelled lovely. And so I kind of, somebody mentioned the word aromatherapy, and I kind of went home and kind of did a bit of research, and found locally a school of aromatherapy. And I just knew that was, I was going to train in aromatherapy. And I did my training with a Belgian doctor of aromatherapy, who I believe has gone back to Belgium now, in Bradford-on-Avon. And did my exams with the International Federation of Aromatherapy, which were then the only and main board in the UK. So I had to cart all my equipment up to the Royal Masonic Hospital in London, where we were had a whole day of examinations with the IFA, both practical, written, oral, the whole thing. And they were just kind of getting people off the street for our massages and things. It was kind of like very full on, yeah. And I got my qualification through in 1991. So yeah, we've
Wow,
been
30 years.
30 years ago. Yeah, quite a
It's
while. So that,
funny, isn't it, how a path will just lead you, or you get those nudges, don't you, in this direction or that direction, and then it just, you can't stop, you can't get off that path because that's where you're meant to be. And it's lovely
exactly.
whenever you find that and you think, this is it, this is me, this is who I am, because it is just who you are, isn't it? It's just that it's your life rather
Yeah, I
than.
mean, essential oils are such a huge part of my life now. I mean, daily, I'm kind of like, I use them for myself, or I'm always kind of, somebody will be asking me about something, or what can I use for this, or what can I use for that, or, my partner's had a hard day at work and wants something for his back, or, it's interesting because, years ago he'd be straight for the paracetamol or something, and it's now like, oh no, what have you got? What can you make me? Because
Yeah.
he just rather go down the natural route as well now. So yeah, it's just kind of those who surround me as well, really, I guess, which have kind of um, sort of taken on board that there are other ways of kind of doing things too.
That's lovely, isn't it? Because we all get, what crystal can we have? What crystal do we need?
That's it. That's
Yeah,
it. Yeah, that's it.
yeah.
So
Oh, that's lovely. It's so nice to know and see because I kind of been interested, but I've never really known very much about it. So that's why I was really, really pleased to have a chat with you. And hopefully if you'll come back and do a little practical session
yes,
for
of
us
course.
later on because
Yeah.
just want to, yes, just want to try it and see. So what's your favorite? What's your real sort of go-to essential oil? Do you have one or do you have a kit bag or
Do you
does it
know, I
depend?
probably, I'm very fortunate. I have a fridge full of essential oil.
Yes, I bet.
So I have probably about 80 oils, essential oils in my fridge. And a lot of
No
them,
food. No food, just the
no food,
oils.
just essential oils. Um, and a lot of them are used in workshops now. And sometimes I'm kind of really drawn to ones I haven't worked with for a while. I think some of my favourite ones are ones that I keep by my bedside quite a lot. Some that people will know. So lavender I think is lovely and you can't go wrong with lavender. And things like geranium as well. They're just, they're there. They're there all the time. They're kind of like your friends really. But vetiver is a big one that I use, and it's one that not a lot of people like the smell of. Um, when I use it on workshops, I very much sing its praises. And then afterwards, I'll get messages from people saying they've really got into using it. But at the time, they're not too keen on the smell because it's kind of very, very, very earthy.
Oh,
If you've ever smelt vetiver, people say it's kind of smoky, it's earthy. And quite a lot of people don't initially like the smell, but it's very layered and it's a very complex oil. And I absolutely love it at night, and it's really good for helping with sleep and things. I just love using vetiver at night. And if I'm doing anything where I need grounding, then that's definitely one of my go-to oils. But yeah, I've frankincense is another one I use a lot.
that I love.
I absolutely adore frankincense.
Mm.
I use that probably when I'm working with crystals and stuff more often. But there's so many, and I find
Mm.
myself drawn to certain ones at
Yeah.
certain times, and I kind of just very much go with that rather than I'm thinking, right, like for some reason the other day I was like drawn to cardamom,
Right.
and I was using that, and then this email comes through from this article from these people that they're really informative with aromatherapy in the States. I've done workshops with, and it was about cardamom, and I was kind of like, oh yeah, I know why I wanted cardamom
Oh,
now. It's
Oh.
kind of
Bit like
oh,
us with crystals, isn't it?
yeah.
yes.
If
As
someone
you
says
say,
to us, "What's your favourite crystal?" It's like,
I
well,
would
Yes.
say,
at the moment, today I'm working with D6.
Yes.
yeah,
Tomorrow I could bring in another 12.
yeah, exactly.
So
So if somebody doesn't like the smell, like you say with vetiver, what would you say? Would you mix that with something that sort of takes the edge off the smells for them to get used to it, or do you just say stick with it?
Well, when I'm doing workshops with people and they're smelling the essential oil in like a 500 ml in a bottle, so it can be quite intense. So what I say to people is like after the workshop, just try a single drop
Okay.
on a tissue and just see how you get on with that, because then the smell isn't quite as intense.
Yeah.
Like last night we were working with German chamomile, which is very intense. It's
Oh,
like it's the color of ink and it's very
oh,
intense. It's a very deep blue color, very intense. So I say try that, but then if people are smelling it and they really don't like it, it's like I just say, well, put it down. You can go back to it again with a single drop. But also when you blend it with something, it smells completely different.
mm,
mm,
And one of the things that vetiver blends really well with is citrus oils. So if you put a drop of vetiver and you blend it with sweet orange, I mean, sweet orange is a beautiful oil to help with sleep as well. I'm using sleep as an example because that's the thing that a lot of people are asking about at the
mm.
moment, blends for sleep and things, or for de-stressing, and those two together are absolutely beautiful. And I've had people message me after workshops and just say, oh yeah, they go really nicely together, whereas they didn't like the vetiver on its own, but then blending it, you get the whole qualities of the two of them then. So yeah. they do smell completely different blended together, as long as
Yeah.
you don't get too much of, one oil in.
Mm. Mm.
What's your advice for somebody who's got a basic interest and just wants to start out in essential oils?
Mm.
Well, for me, I run an introduction to aromatherapy, which basically gives people a really good starting point. So it explains from scratch what essential oils are, what aromatherapy is, and most importantly for me is the safety aspect of aromatherapy. Because if
Mm.
you're going to start using essential oils on a regular basis, to me it's really important that people know how to use them safely. And on the internet and at holistic fairs, sometimes there can be poor advice given out where people are advised to do things that aren't in their best interest, always. And sometimes this can just be because the person who's delivering the information isn't that well informed themselves either, and is just passing on information that's been given to them, and that's more often than not the case. Uh,
Mm.
so yeah, it's going to a good source, and getting that good advice. And even with some of the books that are out there nowadays, some of the information is dated because as time has moved on, things have changed regarding the safety of essential oils. But things that I used to do when I was initially training 30 years ago, we now don't do anymore, because we know that there's potential for, reactions to oils in those ways. So yeah, a lot of, things are constantly changing. There's constantly new things, there's constantly new development, and there's constantly new essential oils coming out as well. So and when the new oils come out, there's not always that much known about them. So they go to the plant and look at the plant. But yeah, definitely, I'd say, do a workshop, find somewhere where you can do a trusted workshop, um,
Like yours.
like mine.
Like yours. Yes.
Sell yourself, gal. Sell yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think, yeah, yes, I'm like you, and this all the grounding, clearing, protection, really, really important to me. And I loved it when we spoke earlier, or last time on Dan's show, that you have that same care and that need for the safety aspect. Do you think that with all that we've been going through, and all the changes here now, people are in time becoming more sensitive, or more sort of fragile, or a bit delicate to it? So is that why you feel this sort of safety aspect is much more important?
Um, my thoughts are that with the MLM companies developing much more in the UK, and with the generally the holistic health developing in the UK, that a lot more people are now using essential oils, and aromatherapy is becoming an awful lot more popular, a lot more mainstream than what it was previously. And as a result of that, a lot of people are going out and buying essential oils without
Right.
really having a clue on what to do with them or how to use them in an appropriate way.
Mm.
And the number of people I kind of that will come along to a workshop or are interested in a workshop will say, oh yeah, I've got a few essential oils, but I don't really know what to do with them.
Mm.
And then, during the workshop we'll say, oh yeah, I've kind of not really been using them the way I should, or I've been using them the wrong way, or they've been putting themselves at risk potentially of a skin sensitization or a reaction just because they've been told something or they'd read something.
Mm.
So also the other thing is that the reporting of adverse events is now much more common, whereas there's
Okay.
much more reporting going on.
Yeah.
Whereas before there wasn't quite so much. I think things happened to people and they weren't reported, but now these records are being kept,
Mm.
and from that a lot of the safety has arisen really.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
because one of the biggest things that's been going around with essential oils is ingesting them.
Yeah.
It has been such a big divide on yes you can, no you can't. Um, yeah, what's your outtake on that
Mm.
big debate?
Um, my outtake on that is that the um, basically International Federation of Aromatherapy and ISPA, which are the two UK governing safety bodies for aromatherapists, don't recommend that we ingest essential oils. And the reason for that is we don't know enough about it. We do know that essential oils can be irritants both to our mouth and to our esophagus and digestive system. And we do know the way that essential oils proceed through the body and the way they're metabolized are very different when they're actually ingested than when they're actually rubbed in our skin or when they're inhaled. So we know those things. And there have been incidents, or quite a few incidents, where people have literally, had adverse events due to ingestion.
It would
Um,
never occur to me to swallow
no, and
essential oils. I always thought that it's the aroma, isn't it? It's the smell.
yeah,
And maybe for massage, to massage it in your skin. Drink it? No.
in
Because
Just
in
it's
all
the concentrate, isn't it? It's like
yes.
concentrated.
ha-
So
Yes.
um, if you think of one drop of peppermint essential oil is equivalent to about 26 peppermint tea bags, that's the concentration you're
Oh,
dealing. So if you have one drop of lemon, imagine how much lemon juice that's going
yeah.
to be needs. It's going to be an awful lot. So lemon's normally the one that people are advised to ingest. And lemon originally, or lemon essential oil, if you think is used in the cleaning industry quite a lot as a
Yeah.
degreaser. So the effect of that potentially could be that degreasing effect slowly on your esophagus, on your oral mucosa, all of that really. And the other thing is when you put essential oil into water, the two don't mix, oil and water don't mix.
Okay.
So traditionally, how oils were used internally, it was very much called the French method when I did my
Good
training,
old
because
French. Yeah.
the Belgians used essential oils that way. And it all got completely misconstrued by the MLM companies, in as much that the French would use them in very controlled doses. So it's like a proper pharmacy. So they take the person's history, everything is taken, and they're like doctors that actually then make up capsules. So the dose is encapsulated in a gel so that it's not actually released until it goes past the stomach. So you're not having the oil then damaging. And it's only also taken for a very short period of time. So a week, 10 days at a time for something intensive. So that's how essential oils were used, say, by the French, by the Belgians. Belgians use them in suppositories as well. So the actual oils were put as a drug into the suppository. Yeah, no, they weren't actually taken in a glass of water ever. So this has totally come from the MLM companies.
Okay.
Mm,
Oh gosh, I never knew any of that. I
yeah,
think, yeah, just leave me with the smell. That's
yeah.
enough for me.
Because the funny fact is, because you're saying that the oil and water don't mix,
Mm.
one of my things before I went on to your workshop, I used to just put a few drops in my bath,
oh,
um, which I now know doing your workshop is a big no-no because
yeah,
it just stays on the top.
yeah,
Ah.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, the same with baths really. Well, I've done it, and we've had quite a lot of people come to workshops that have done it as well. When you put essential oils onto your bath, you'll notice they float on top.
Mm.
So they don't mix in with your bath water whatsoever. So then you put your body in, so you've got hot water and essential oil, which can potentially cause quite a nasty reaction. and it doesn't, you might get away with it for a while, and then suddenly you might just kind of feel like you're burning, like you're stinging, which, when you're looking forward to a nice bath, isn't what you want at all, really. I've done it when I was training with basil essential oil, and I always remember I got in this lovely bath and I had this new essential oil, and I thought I'll chuck a little couple of drops in, not much, got in this bath, and I flew out the bath. I felt like I'd been stung all over, and I showered it all off, and I was okay. I didn't have any masses of those events. But yeah, it should always be mixed in something that's going to disperse the essential oil first, so something bubbly, so you can use what you've got in your bathroom, like a Sanex shower gel, something like that. Bubble bath, anything like that, but it needs to be mixed in a small pot. Pop your essential oil in that first, run your bath, and then pop that in your bath, and then you find your essential oil doesn't float on top. And people say with Epsom salts, because a lot of people use Epsom salts nowadays, so I just say, well, put the Epsom salts in some oil, a little bit of oil, so maybe 10 ml of oil, and you add, before you add the oil to the Epsom salts, you add your essential oil to the actual carrier oil, so sweet almond, olive oil, whatever it is, and then you add that, and that's how you would put them with the salt, because the salts don't allow for the proper dispersion of the essential oils into water either.
Gosh, there's a lot to learn, isn't there? And a lot, like you say, a lot of misinformation out
There's a lot
there.
of poor information. Yeah, I just see all over the place where people just go add these drops of essential oil to your bath, and sometimes the essential oils they're suggesting are ones that are quite irritating to the skin. So things like cinnamon, for instance, is really quite can be quite irritating to the skin. Clove is another one. Oregano, that's another one. All of those can be quite irritating. So those are ones I wouldn't use in a bath full stop, let alone just put them straight into my bath. So
I don't think now, until I might do your course, I don't think I'll be putting anything in my bath. just jump in the water.
lavender, geranium, all of those lovely smelling ones, they're safe. Just pop them in, something bubbly that you've got by the side of your bath first, and then
Not champagne.
I was thinking champagne. I was thinking a bit of Patsy and Eddie, or a bit of Bolly.
As soon as you say anything bubbly, don't you? You just automatically think champagne.
brilliant. I love it. No, keep your champagne.
Yeah.
You have that when you're in the bath on the side.
Yes. Keep that pure. We don't want anything in that.
No
Don't mix
essential
it.
oil in your champagne. No way.
Oh, that's really handy to know. That's really helpful. Oh, thanks, Anne.
So that's a little snippet taste of safety, really. There's a lot to it.
Yes. Because you've done the course, haven't you, Dan? You did.
I did because
Skincare.
something that we really good. Anne runs a workshop alongside Molly, and it's crystals with essential oils. So that was my first workshop I went on to, because I thought, oh, this would be quite interesting to see how the essential oils and the crystals work. I loved it. Absolutely. I won't mention any of the oils or the crystals because that's a big secret. It's a guessing game and things are numbered. But one of them, I mean, it doesn't take much for some crystals to send me off, but one of them was just whoa. And yeah, then I went on to do natural skincare. Literally got me into, like, and now I've actually got a fridge just for aromatherapy. I've got my butters in there, I've got my oils in there, I've got my essential oils and my carrier oils. So yeah, and that's what I got from her, getting some aloe vera, putting some essential oils in, and you're making your own skincare, your own moisturising and stuff. And it's like, this is amazing. And yeah, absolutely great. Love the workshops. And we will be putting a link to your Facebook page, how people can find you on our YouTube channel. So absolutely. Penny, have you got anything?
Well, To be honest, I've never been very much into essential oils. I'll put them in a diffuser, and that's all.
Mm.
Um, but I've never been into them. But you've definitely opened my eyes with some of the things, because I know of a lot of people who just tip them in the bath and that sort of thing. So yeah, very much so, very much so.
It's
Mm.
interesting as well because I think a lot of people don't recognise the scope of the essential oils either, and they just think, oh, they're just kind of smelly things.
Mm.
But what really strikes me, and I have a couple of guys come in the groups every now and then, and it's quite interesting because I'm like, it's great to have guys actually join in aromatherapy because the biggest authors in aromatherapy worldwide are men,
It's a
interestingly.
surprise.
And
Yes.
because a lot of it's about chemistry and pharmacology and safety. It's not just kind of about, I mean, the aromas we appreciate, but
Mm.
for them, kind of like the safety side, they go into the actual chemistry of the essential oils, which we
Mm.
learn when we're kind of, learning all about essential oils, but they're also chemically diverse. So vetiver, for instance, because that's one that I really love, that's got over 300 naturally occurring chemicals in it. And they reckon, and it can simultaneously work on our hormonal system, our gastric system, our mind. It just works on so many different levels.
Mm.
And I always think with using essential oils, so say you're using a blend for pain, when we're doing the pain workshop, for instance. So people can be blending something to help for the pain and the inflammation, but at the same time, they're also blending for the emotional component of the pain, for the anxiety, for how that's making them feel, because the essential
Mm.
oils work on so many different levels. Um, so like I say, with the spiritual work, you're blending for the spiritual work that you're actually doing, but also you get the benefits, or other benefits from the essential oils as well, because there's so many and they work on different levels. So for example, with pain, you quite often would take, for people who've been having chronic pain for a long time, certainly more often than not, they're on a whole list of painkillers. And then on top of that, they're taking another tablet for the anxiety, for the depression,
Yeah.
for the things that come with it. Whereas the essential oils actually simultaneously, because of how complex they are, can help with all of those at once.
Mm.
So you
Absolutely.
get
And I
everything
think
in
it
the
is
bottle.
important, like you said earlier on about aromatherapy becoming mainstream. And I think it is really important that before we go running out there, before we start filling our cupboards with these little pots,
Yeah.
that we do get a big understanding that
Understand. Yeah.
these aren't things that we could play about with. There is
Mm.
science behind these. There is
Yeah.
chemicals. It's chemistry, and yeah, I mean, I know you do your pain workshop. You do a menopause workshop.
Yeah, workshops. I'm just trying to think because I've just been putting next year's up. So there's stress, anxiety, and depression, which a lot of people find that so helpful. The chronic pain workshop. I've changed it to women's balance now rather than menopause because I thought some
That's
people were a bit
nice.
reluctant. So women's balance covers premenstrual tension, painful periods, perimenopause, and menopause. So I changed it. I changed the title. I thought it was a bit more appealing as women's balance.
Mm. It gives
Um,
a broader spectrum too, doesn't it,
it does give
really?
a broader spectrum
Mm.
as well. Yeah, much broader spectrum.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I've got two natural skincare ones now, which are quite different. And I've got one which I wrote earlier in the year, which I love, and I wrote it in COVID in December, and it's called Aromatherapy for Self-Love, Nurturing the Soul, and it's very much about heartfelt oils that kind of nurture us, and very much about that sort of self-love and using aromatherapy as part of that. Um, So that's a nice new one. And those people that did that one really loved that one. I'm
It's
just trying to
something we don't often do, is it, for ourselves? You know, they say
massively,
healer, heal thyself, but we don't treat ourselves, do
No.
we, the way we
very
treat
nice,
others?
very
So,
nice.
yeah, that does sound nice. Forgive a really, probably, really ignorant question. I've never used essential a little bit in a diffuser, like you said, Penny. Just that's about my limit, but I don't know anything about them. So forgive this. When you say blend them, how do you blend them? Do you put them in a bottle and shake them up? Do you stir them? Do you heat them? What? How do you actually blend oils?
When you're blending them, it's blending is just kind of a posh word for choosing some and putting them together in a product that you want.
Okay.
So say for instance, you can blend into your diffuser, I'm sure you have to. So into your diffuser, you just put maybe a couple of drops of
All
two or three
right.
essential oils. If you're making a face cream, for instance, depending on the volume that you've got, you choose the essential oils that you're going to pop into that cream, and then you put them into the cream and mix them in.
Stir it. Mm.
So
So
they
it's not a particular process in itself.
the choosing them is a bit more of a process because
Yes.
you're choosing them depending on what you're wanting to achieve. So, for
Mm.
example, if you're wanting a protection blend for your spiritual work, you're looking at oils that are kind of very much of that, and then you're choosing, well, shall I put them in a spray? Do I want to
Mm.
spray the air, or do I want to have them in my diffuser, or do I want something I'm going to rub in and just kind of anoint myself with? So there's lots of
Okay.
different ways of actually using them. So it's just choosing really is the key one. So like
Oh,
juniper and rosemary, for instance, are classic aromatherapy oils that have been known throughout the years for protection. You know, they're very much believed to have protective qualities, and rosemary as well for third eye. So yeah, it depends, like I say, what you're wanting for. And in the workshops that I run, people get to blend themselves 2 items with each workshop. So each workshop, you do get the opportunity to blend yourself, and you don't all blend the same, you blend personal to yourself. You know, we work with the oils very much without knowing what they are,
Mhm.
so you can see what you're drawn to. My way of working with them is very much with how they're making you feel, not what the actual oil is. And
okay.
we're quite surprised by that, because there can be oils that they have preconceptions about, and that's why we always work with them, like Dan said, anonymously. They're labeled A to H, they're not labeled what they are. And so you very much connect with the oil, see what you get personally from that oil, see how that oil makes you feel.
Mm.
Whilst you're working with it, you make your notes, and then when you come to make your blend, you can actually then use those notes. I do, of course, tell you what the oil is after, but
Thanks.
yeah, I could be really
Just
weird.
imagine I have a bit of number 9 and a couple of drops of number 26, please.
Exactly.
But
Yeah,
Oh,
tell
you
you
are
what.
spoilt for choice, and
I can imagine.
yeah, you just, oh, I do like that one. I do like that, and then you put them together, and then you just get a completely different. Ooh, ooh, yes. I love it. I love it. I'm a proper kitchen witch when I make things. It's amazing, and yeah, mine at the moment is ylang ylang and myrtle, and at the moment I've gone into sweet orange because during the winter I put lemon in, but I turn to sweet orange in the summer because sweet orange doesn't damage. It's sun, isn't it? The
Yeah,
citrus
it's not
oils.
phototoxic, sweet orange. Yeah, the yeah, if you're using it on your face or any parts of your body that's kind of out in the sun, you need to avoid what we call phototoxic essential oils, which are
Mm.
a lot of the citrus oils. They react with UV light to cause burning.
Yeah.
That
Oh, we should
sounds
have
really
sniffer
nice.
vision, shouldn't we?
Oh,
We should be able to, yeah, hold that up to the camera.
yeah. ylang ylang and myrtle just seems to just make a really beautiful scent. I love it. Um, I do try and mix it up because you have said that, you know, prolonging, keep using
Yeah.
something over and over can sometimes have effects. So to switch it around every now and again.
Yeah, switching it around every now and then is really good. Not using the same thing month in, month out, month in, month out. Just switch a blend, and then you can switch back to the original one again. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I'm always switching mine. I just kind of make a cream up for my face, and then the next time I'll go to something different. I've got some jasmine at the moment I've been using, so I'm like,
that
yeah,
you've got an expensive taste.
I know, but I that was actually in the aromatherapy for self-love workshop, some jasmine in dilution. So I bought it for the workshop, and I hadn't treated myself to any for a while, so the rest of it's mine or mine.
Oh, lovely.
Love
That's
it.
my self-love for writing the workshop.
Yes. Yeah.
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 Penny, do you think you'd, because I know Dan's done the course, shall we go and give it a go?
Definitely, definitely. There's a few of those workshops I really do fancy. So where do you run your workshops, Anne?
I'm all online.
You're all
I'm
online.
literally,
Oh,
I'm all on Zoom.
Mm.
She sends these kits out.
You get sent a kit, yeah.
It's amazing.
well,
I
no,
used to be
then
I
no.
used to be face to face, but to be honest, it's funny because Molly and I were chatting about this recently, Molly from Earth and Heaven, and we were saying that having people in a really confined space at the moment, because a lot of the halls and things I used to rent, there wasn't a lot of windows and all that sort of
Yeah,
thing. Um, and so and it's interesting, people seem to prefer them online. I mean, there are some who kind of, oh, I'm not, as always, I'm not doing things online, but the majority of people seem to really enjoy it. And there was a lady that used to come to the face-to-face ones, and then has done a couple online. She's done 3 or 4 online, and she's really got into it, and her feedback, she put once, and a lot of people went, yeah, I actually feel like that too, was that she said, I actually love doing it from my own room, the comfort.
Mm.
I don't have to drive anywhere,
yeah,
Mm.
worry about parking, worry I've got change, and she said, I just feel much more like I can connect with the oils in my own space than I can
Yeah.
doing with strangers I don't know. And I thought that was quite an interesting take on it, really. I'd
Mm.
not thought of it that
Yeah.
way before.
And I think so. Being in your, and especially with aromatherapy, I feel if you're going into aches and pains or whatever that workshop is, being in the comfort of your home,
Mm.
you are more relaxed, which means you more focused on what you need in yourself rather than, oh, I'm in this room, I'm with strangers, I need to be this. Whereas it doesn't matter being at home, you're yourself, and you think more like, oh, well, actually, yeah, I can put that in my bathroom. When you're in the house, you think more about the places you can put things rather than trying to
Yeah,
think about the house being in another place, trying to think
Yeah.
about that, if that makes sense. So,
definitely.
yeah, I could see how the
Mm.
online aromatherapy workshops really do work a treat because they're already picturing, well, yeah, I could do that, and there's the fridge there, and everything is near them that they can use these tools for. So, absolutely cracking. And I
There's a
can't wait
massive,
because you are going to be doing a practical
yes.
yeah,
on
we will.
YouTube. We got Anne on first as an interview, so we know who she is, we know what she's about, and to give the safety aspect first. But we will be inviting her back later on, where she will give a mini little insert to one of her workshops, where we will go through what you lot would go through if you were to do this with Anne, to give her a little bit of, this is what the workshop's about and how she teaches, and make you fall in love with her like we've all done, because she
Yes.
is an
Yeah.
absolute amaze. I love people who are passionate about their
Yeah.
subject because it shows, and
It
your
does.
passion comes through. Talking about essential oils, it's like talking about your children, You just see your eyes light up and go, yes, and I've got this one and this is good today, and I've got, yeah, we don't talk about that one today.
Yeah.
You know, you really care about
Yeah.
these, and people
Yeah.
need to know about it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Dan, there's a really huge advantage to do the online workshops than doing them face to face, that probably a lot of people who didn't do the face to face will know about, in that when you did the face to face, everybody shared the essential oils and you made something and just went home with your product. So now doing the online ones, you actually get a kit of 8 essential oils. So you've got a good couple of months of essential oils to try those essential oils in different ways for yourself and actually see how you work with those essential oils and whether those are ones that you want to buy and keep working with in the future. Whereas you didn't actually have that benefit before, because like I say, they're all sent out to you. So you all have your own little kit. So
Yeah,
that's really, that's an extra benefit really to them being online as such.
Yeah.
absolutely. And just before we tie this up,
Mhm.
we're on about, you know, the end result, got the workshop, we've got a little bit of training from you, we've ran out of our favourite oil. Where would you recommend to purchase your oils?
Well, there are several places I recommend that I buy oils from. What I wouldn't recommend is people go in and buying them off Amazon or eBay, places like that. I've looked at some of the companies on there and had messages sent to me. And it's a big clue, for instance, if the price of rose is very similar to the price of lavender, because there should be a massive difference. Um, so not all of them are selling, I wouldn't say, the best quality of essential oils. The rose there could probably have been adulterated with a cheaper oil, so it's not pure rose essential oil. And I talk about that very much in the introduction workshop, how to tell what you're getting. There are several companies I recommend, and there's lots of good ones out there. Base Formula is one I use a lot. That's one Dan uses a lot. Aromatic UK is another one. Shirley Price is another one I use. Penny Price is another one I use. Fragrant Earth are also good. There's an awful lot of good essential oil companies out there, but those are sort of 5 that I've mentioned. Ashadi's another one. But yeah, I definitely would not recommend just buying direct from Amazon or eBay without, fully knowing what you're getting. And
Yeah,
there are
well,
lots of things to look out for too, which I go into the introduction of essential oils.
yeah, we'll put some of those links on this one and on the taster session one as well for people to find it easily. Because yeah, you mentioned Shirley Price because you went up to my hometown.
I did, yeah, I used to
Because
do
I know Shirley and
Penny
Penny
Price.
Penny Price, yes, yeah, I know of them. So yeah, when you mentioned that, I was like, I know them, and you went up to Hinckley to do it. It's like, oh, bless you, sweetheart. I'd have stayed on the train.
I drove up as well.
I'm surprised you got out.
Dan, it's not
Oh.
that bad, not anymore. No,
No,
yeah,
that's because I left.
I'm so glad you said that because I was just about to.
yeah, it's a funny little place. But yeah, I used to do my professional development courses up there. I used to do a Shirley Price with a lovely lady, Jan, who I think she used to do a lot of work for the IFA, the International Federation of Aromatherapists, and she's now based back in Holland, so Holland and Germany, yeah. So yeah, I used to go up and do courses with her and stuff, and also at Penny Prices as well. Did my aromatic chemistry revisor up there, and all sorts of things really. Yeah, I used to kind of like going up, and but now most things are done. My CPD tends to be done online. I've done kind of quite a lot of stuff with Robert Tisserand and the guy in Australia as well. So yeah, people are just doing everything online at the moment.
And
Brilliant.
that makes you international.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Oh, I can't wait. Can you, Penny? I think really, you've inspired us, I think, and
Yeah, brilliant. And you know,
have
that's my aim, is to inspire
mm,
people to try and introduce some essential oils into their lives, see how they find
yeah,
them. Yeah, definitely. It was interesting because I had a new workshop last 2 nights I've run, which is aromatherapy for summertime. And
right.
I had about 3 or 4 people who were completely new to aromatherapy, hadn't done anything with aromatherapy before, and they've been really inspired, which is really, really
Mm.
nice. And
It's
they really
lovely,
enjoyed
isn't
what
it?
they made. Yeah,
Mm.
that's what it's about
Yeah.
for me. It's just passing on kind of my passion, my knowledge, and enabling people to feel that they can go out and use the essential oils for themselves, you know, that they can safely know how to buy oils
Yeah.
and how to use them. And when they feel like it, you know, they can make blends themselves, they can make a blend for their family or their friends, you know,
Mm.
those sorts of things as well, really.
Now we just want the summertime
Yeah.
to come with
Like
it.
last night, I did feel it was a bit of a joke. I'm like, we're doing like aromatherapy for summertime, thinking May's perfect. It's going to be lovely and warm.
So you were the
They
person to
sat there
blame.
being really cold with their blankets
Yes.
around them and everything.
They've all gone thunder and lightning. It's Anne's fault.
Anne Polet's done a workshop on summertime again.
Yeah,
It's
don't
raining.
mention the sunburn. What sunburn?
Windburn,
Windburn, yeah.
rust from the rain. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
That
But
definitely stemmed me up this morning on the coast path, windburn. I tell you, I thought I was going to get thrown off the coast path. Dog's ears were like right back.
brilliant, brilliant.
Oh.
They were like, oh,
Any last words from any of the PhD crew? Penny?
No, I'm just really inspired now. In fact,
Mm.
I know that I've got some bottles of essential oils in my other room. So when I get off of here, I will be going and having a look and seeing what I've got,
Mm.
and definitely getting them out and using them more than what I do. Definitely.
now one thing I will say to you is you need to be aware of how long you've had them for,
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
um, with citrus oils, you need to renew those every year.
Hmm.
With the thicker oils are okay. So if you've got thick oils like patchouli, vetiver, they're normally good for 4 years plus.
Mm.
Oh.
And any oils in between, around about 2 to 3. So if you've got, I always say to people when they come on and do a workshop, if they've had their oils for like 10 years, chances are they're not good for
Chuck them.
you.
Chuck them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a lady on a talk I gave once, and she was a bit sheepish when asking me about her lavender that she's had, and I know her from Bideford. And she went, well, I don't like chucking things out, but. And I said, well, how old is your lavender? She said, well, it's about 20 years. And I was like, I really honestly don't think that's going to do you any good whatsoever. Performance or, and she did agree to chuck it out and go up to nature, you know, go and buy herself a new bottle from a shop in Bideford. And I'm like, where I know they sell, you know, good essential oils. And I'm like, no. And even though I've mentioned about, you know, not using the oils for lavender after 3 years, and she was like, oh well, is there right now? And I went, really, no, I'm not going to agree with that. No. That's a big no, I'm afraid.
That's really stretching it, isn't
Yeah.
it?
That's almost like an antique bottle of lavender that you can just literally admire the bottle, not even open it, because to open it would be good.
Yes.
Wow. And
Oh,
Hillary,
that's
any final words
lovely.
from you?
I know when we spoke before, Anne, and I was thinking of my granddaughter, you know, teenage years, and it's just sort of revitalised that. I thought, yes, because I didn't have time at the time to get any essential oils, but now I think I might just do the course first, or do the introduction, and know a bit more about it, so that I can give her the right advice. Because if I just give her the oils, yeah, she'll chuck them in the bath. So I think I'm going to wait and find out all the details from you. But yeah, it was very helpful. And the things that you said, I have written down and I have kept a note of, and I will do, because I know that it will help her. So your women's balance, I think that's lovely, because that can go from any age, can't it?
Yeah, it literally can. And
Mm,
by changing it to women's balance, it's
mm.
opened it up considerably to
But I
have.
want to give her the good advice that you give as well with it, to make sure that
Yeah,
she uses them properly. So,
yeah.
yes, thank you very much. It's really inspiring, really is. And your passion does come across. So you just think, yeah, I really want to do this.
Mm.
So thank you so much for
Definitely.
coming
You
on and
join
chatting
me.
with us. Can't wait for the practical.
Yeah.
No, I can't. And yeah, it is inspiring. I mean, 18 months ago, I wouldn't know anything. And I mean, I've only done 2 of the workshops. I mean, I need to free up some time to go on and jump on. I'm sure I'll be welcome on the women's balance one, you know. I mean, you know, come on. I need to suppress the female in me at some point. Um, but
Acknowledge
yeah,
it.
but Anne, brilliant.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming on. And yeah, we're looking forward to having you back on. And let's bring on the practical heads.
Yes.
Let's run us through a little bit of what to expect on one of your workshops.
Mm,
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, if that's what you want me, guys, want me
mm,
to do next for the practical, I think you mentioned, Dan, about everybody having, like, say, 4 oils,
mm.
and then having something to make.
That
So
would be lovely.
Yeah.
make like a roller ball or something along those lines, or
Mm,
aroma inhaler,
yeah,
rollerball
this
might
is what we're looking at with the people, especially if they're doing workshops.
mm,
Bring them on first. Let's have a little chat, a chinwag, and then we take a little cake section out of their workshop and go, would you come on and do a section of your workshop? So
mm.
then the viewers can see how you work.
Yeah.
Because an interview, someone's energy is completely different to when they switch on their workshop hat. And when you put your workshop, that's when people go, right, I really resonate with how this person is
Yes.
going.
yeah.
It happened with Hillary. Me and Penny, we thought Hillary Stanton. No, she started. She
Here we
started.
go.
She started teaching us the tarot, and we're like, love her, love her. Where's her agent? We need her more often. Love it.
I love the idea of doing the tarot, but Saturday mornings for me, so I will have to do it next time when you don't do it on a
Yeah.
Saturday
I'm
morning.
doing a Thursday evening.
Oh, that'll
Thursday
be
evening.
then. Sign me up for a Thursday evening.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm.
That'd be lovely.
I'm doing the
I'll
third.
send you.
Workshopping. Is it recorded on Zoom?
Um,
Hillary, it will be.
You're asking Hillary. Where's her agent? Get her agent back. Yeah, no, myself, Penny, and a few others. We're doing the Thursday evening.
yeah, Thursday evening. Nobody else has asked for the Saturdays, so it looks as if I'm going to have my weekends free. So
Yeah.
Thursday evening will be the tarot course. Yeah, I'll send you the details anyway, Anne. That
Yeah,
would
'cause
be
I'll
lovely.
be interested in a Thursday evening.
Wonderful.
Definitely.
Wonderful.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
you can watch the introduction on YouTube now and see how I teach.
Ah, brilliant.
Yeah, because that went out this week, didn't it? Monday that
it
went
did.
live. So
Actually, and thank you to the people who watched that.
yeah,
The thumbs
yes,
up, 2 comments, Hillary. I'm loving it. So yeah, thank you for supporting that. Thank you for
yeah.
supporting
Thank
the
you.
PhD. It's amazing, and we're loving doing this. And if you've got any suggestions at all, do comment on any of our videos, or do check us out on the Facebook page and drop us a message and go, hey, can you talk about this, as long
Yes.
as it's under the spiritual umbrella? We're happy to discuss and to chat about it. So, Anne, once again, thank you so much for coming on board today. Lovely seeing you, lovely connecting with you. I'm going to do it in reverse.
Yeah,
From the D, it's a goodbye from me.
thank you, Dan. And from the H, it's a goodbye from me, and thank you, Anne.
And from the P, it's a goodbye from me. Thank you so much, Anne. You're such an inspiration.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you,
you, all of
Anne.
you. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
See you again.
See you again.
Don't forget to
Bye.
subscribe, hit the bell,
Yes.
get the notifications.
Yeah.
Love yous.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.